Will prices drop in the Sacramento real estate market? That is on the tip of the tongue of every single buyer that we're talking to right now that's looking to move into Sacramento or move around Sacramento. Let's face it, this is a cold season, and let's be honest, spring and summer didn't do the market any good as far as the buyer demand. Really low comparatively towards other years. So as we get into the season right now where inventory is getting better, and all of a sudden buyers are looking at higher interest rates than they anticipated, a lot of buyers are seeing price reductions and they're wondering if prices are going to drop even further. This is the biggest question that I'm seeing right now. People are saying to themselves, if prices are bad right now, and if we're seeing reductions right now, shouldn't we wait 2 or 3 months when we get into the rainy season, into the holiday season? This is going to be a good show because we're going to talk a little bit about this. We're going to talk a little bit about new homes, resale homes. We're going to talk about all those things that you need to know if you're thinking about making the move to Sacramento. Let's get into the show. This is going to be a good one. All right, guys, this is our Sacramento real estate market update. We do every Wednesday at 7 p.m. just for you guys. Now, we're going to get into all that kind of fun stuff. As far as Sacramento, still a fantastic spot to live. Sacramento metro area, whether it's Roseville, Rockland, Folsom, El Dorado Hills, West Sacramento, still a fantastic spot to live. Now, we're going to go into it and talk a little bit about our specific market, the metro area. Now, if you look at other markets like your Houstons, your Dallases, your Phoenixes, they're really kind of hurting at this point. We're seeing a little bit of like this. It's getting a little cold here, but it's seasonally, this is kind of how it is in the Sacramento area. Seasonally, as everyone who knows who lives in Sacramento, as of maybe 4 days ago, it started to get kind of chilly around here too. And we just did our weather switch. Now, for all you people out there who are watching and thinking to yourself, like, Sacramento is 120 degrees every single day. No, we actually do our switch right about this time normally. Sometimes it's a little bit after Halloween, sometimes it's before, but this year right now we've already had rain. It was raining today, it's been raining the last couple of days, and temperatures have definitely cooled down. So if you want to know kind of what the temperature is in the Sacramento area, it's hot during the summer, but at the same time, about this time we get into cooler weather. I'm putting on a jacket, it's a little bit cooler, and it's a nice vibe out here, honestly. I mean, you got fall going in, you got like leaves falling, you got all this kind of fun stuff. Like, this is what, at least for myself, I love the Sacramento area for this. We have seasons. It's so beautiful around here too. As far as driving through these streets, you see the different color like leaves on the trees. I don't know, you just have this different vibe that pops in Sacramento around this time of the year. You see a lot of people with heavy jackets on. And it's just a different kind of vibe that happens in Sacramento that I really like. It's getting darker a lot sooner as well too. So that's kind of what we're experiencing right now in Sacramento. But as we normally see around this time of the year, it slows down in real estate. Why? Well, for the most part, in the economy in general, people are getting nervous, and you can't really blame anyone for being nervous right now too. Every day is different. Every week we hear about, like Blue Shield is laying off people here, Intel, all these kind of different stories happening, and it gets a little bit, it's getting a little worrisome, right? Everyone wants a nice holiday season. Everyone wants to buy gifts for the kids. Everyone wants to do all that kind of fun stuff, planning vacations and everything too. So home buying kind of tends to take a little bit of a back seat. Now, for sellers, on the other hand, a lot of sellers, if they're not super like pressed to sell at this moment, a lot of sellers are like, we're going to pack it in. We're going to be listing in spring. We're good to go. So you're seeing this normal cold season that we experience here in the real estate market during this time of the year. Like I said, I was hoping that we'd get a little bit more of a drop down in rates, but for the most part, we got a little bit of a dip before the announcement, and now we're kind of back up to like 6.2-ish, 6.3-ish. We're headed up. We're kind of stabilizing a little bit too. So all these things and many more things are happening in the market right now too. And this is what we normally see in the Sacramento area. If you're someone who's thinking about moving out here, if you're someone who's saying to yourself like, I'm seeing these price drops, because how many people out there right now are I want to ask the audience right now, how many people are seeing reductions in the area? And they're thinking they're going to see more reductions happen towards the end of this year, maybe at the beginning of next year as well too. How many people are seeing reductions? Because I'm seeing them myself. I'm seeing a lot of reductions happening too. I'm seeing them happen in the new home area as well. I'm seeing like Toll Brothers, Taylor, you got like Shawwood doing it as well too. A lot of people are reducing. Now, for me, one of the things that I will stress to you guys too is figure out exactly if that's a reduction or if it's maybe going back to the price it should have been at the very beginning. So those are the things you really need to understand. You need to evaluate the market, look at communities, cities, pricing trends, like price per square foot and all that stuff too. Now, on this channel, I've been putting up a couple of videos as far as deals go, or like price drops and everything too. Now, a deal is only a deal for someone who's actually interested in buying that home. If that home is for you and you've been looking at Shawwood and you're saying to yourself, I love the birch floor plan, it just did a drop, now it's game on. That's great. That's a deal for you. Does it mean in any way, shape, or form that's a deal that everyone needs to jump on? Absolutely not. At the same time, a lot of people are looking at that and going, hey, it might have dropped that much, but it's still not really worth it for me. I'm not looking for that big of a home, and it's just not for me. And then, of course, a deal would not be for you. It would be for someone who's kind of looking for the birch floor plan. The video I just did on Toll Brothers as well, too, that I dropped last Friday, same thing, right? Like it's a price drop. Does it mean now that it's reduced to over $230,000, you need to buy that house? No. It just means that it's a price drop. And I wanted to throw up a video for you guys showing that not just that house, but almost like the trend of what I'm seeing happen right now, right? Whether it's Toll, whether it's Taylor, whether it's Lennar, whether it's Woodside, we're seeing price drops. Now, that's the interesting part of these videos I'm kind of dropping to you guys as well, too. And I got another one because I'm going out to Taylor Morrison tomorrow in Folsom, and they have their last Highland model, and there's a price drop on that one as well, too. What does that say for the new home market? What does that say for our market in general? I mean, normally what we noticed in the new home world, prices were the last thing they were going to negotiate on as far as 6 months, as far as a year ago. But now it seems that prices are a little bit more negotiable, right? Which is great. Now, I'm not saying all builders, all communities, all floor plans and everything too are like that. But what I am saying is now all of a sudden your realtors got to earn their money, and now there's a little bit more negotiation power going on there. And the beautiful part for you guys out there who are looking to buy, unless you got that job move, unless you got that, like, I need to get into Sacramento by like November, December, there's no huge push. I'm not saying pass on your dream house or your dream floor plan, but I'm saying there's no big push. Could prices drop even further November, December, and January? They could. I mean, that's just the realism of the market. They absolutely could. Could they go up in price? They might. And that's the thing about the market. You need to watch stuff like the bond market, 10-year bond. You need to figure out exactly like what interest rates are doing. All those little facets, how much inventory is really coming on the market, how much inventory is being recycled in our market as well too. All those things are going to tell you a little bit. And also then it comes down to you guys, right? Like, what community do you like? What area do you like? I can tell you right now, Roseville's hotter than Elk Grove as far as days on the market and everything too. So you just got to know what area you're buying into. You got to know what kind of floor plan, what community, what neighborhood. I mean, certain floor plans fly off the shelves. Houses with bigger pieces of land tend to sell faster. Single stories tend to sell at this point in time, what I'm seeing, a little bit faster than 2 stories. So there are little things about what you're looking for that you really need to figure out exactly if this is the market for you, if waiting makes sense. For example, like if you're looking for, like, let's say a house in, like, I don't know, let's say Folsom, right? And you're looking for that house in Briggs Ranch. Let's throw out Briggs Ranch. Beautiful neighborhood in Folsom, California. You're saying to yourself, I believe prices are going to drop. I saw my dream floor plan hit the market. It had a packed open house. The realtor's telling me it had 3 offers, but I'm going to wait for the next one. You might be waiting for a while because that community specifically is a very hot community and not a lot of inventory comes on in Briggs Ranch. These are things you kind of need to know. You need to know exactly the strategies in place, exactly for what you're looking for. Because even though the market is slow during this time of the year, even though it's cold right now, and it is, you still got to figure out exactly what you're looking for. And if your house is one of those houses you can kind of hold up on, if your house is one of those houses that no matter when you decide to buy it, there's going to be competition for the house, especially if it's priced aggressively. So that's kind of what I'm seeing. Now, the other thing that I'm seeing as well too is you're seeing a lot of sellers. They went with their first listing agent. Their first listing agent priced high or didn't do any marketing. And did I mention we do amazing marketing? Okay. So they priced high. And then all of a sudden you see another listing agent taking it over. So you're seeing a ton of listings getting taken over by other realtors. What does that mean? For the most part, they're taking off Zillow, doing new photos and throwing it on the market. So you're getting a lot of recycled listings. And I'm noticing this left and right. A lot of people are going, hey, I'm listing this new house. It's awesome. And you're looking at it and, 3 weeks behind it, it was listed by someone else. So right now you're seeing a whole new crop of listing agents take over listings, and they're going to be pricing probably a lot more aggressively, or they're going to be waiting till spring. So as far as sellers go, that's kind of what you're seeing. let's hit some questions. And hey guys, by the way, I appreciate you guys tuning in. I appreciate all the questions and comments too. Honestly, like I really love this show, and you guys really do fuel me to keep going on this live broadcast. So I appreciate you guys, and I appreciate all the time you spend with me. And if you have any questions, feel free to put them down in the comments. If you have any other questions that you might not want to talk about in public or whatnot, or something going on, give me a call. My phone is always glued to my ear, and that's just kind of how I am. So that's just how it is. Okay. All right. Hey, Mark. Good to see you. We got our offer. We got our offer accepted and closed 10/28. We just had inspections and working with an agent to get some seller credits. 24-year-old air conditioning unit isn't going to cut it in Lincoln. Only $5K. Yeah, what's it called? What am I thinking? AC unit that can run. I mean, about like just the ACs are tough, right? Here's the biggest. How can I say it? Like the biggest thing, the hardest thing to negotiate about air conditioning units, right? I've seen air conditioning, ACs that are 30 years old and they're still running perfectly. And it's a hard thing to negotiate, right? If you have an air conditioning unit and it's running fantastic, you're buying a house, you see the air conditioning, the AC unit, and it's like, like rusted, right? It's not in good shape. And you're looking at it and going like, man, this just looks like it's on this, it's original. It's been there for like 20, 25 years. And you're looking at it going like, man, this thing's got to be on its like last leg. And then you get your inspection, and then your inspector is like, no, it's fine. It's pumping out, cool air. It's good. It's where it should be. Everything's good to go. Those are hard things to negotiate, right? I would say though, for sure, if it was me and I was getting like a house with like a 24-year-old air conditioning unit, and I wasn't able to get a lot of a credit, what I would probably do is I would keep diligent on the home warranty. Now, here's where it gets interesting, right? Not all companies like Fidelity, there's a bunch of other home warranty companies. You need to read the fine print as to if they replace or how much they charge for coming out for services and everything too. So when you close on this house and everything too, and title is saying, okay, if you decided on a home warranty, make sure that if you're going to go get a home warranty, like I said, 24-year air conditioning, I would do it. Make sure you're going with a good company, and look through the fine print. And if you are getting that year home warranty, figure out what that looks like, right? Is it going to be one of those things they're going to nickel and dime you, and they say like, hey, every visit's going to cost you $150 for us to come out to look at it, to fix it, and they're going to keep doing that? Or are they just going to, bring someone out there, and if it needs to be replaced, it needs to be replaced? There are home warranty companies like that. So I would just say read through the fine print and just make sure that it's good. Now, another thing too, you're going to notice is during, the weather we're in right now, inspections are kind of weird, right? As far as like the heat, as far as the AC, as far as testing, all that stuff too, because it's cooler temperature, right? So that's where it gets really, really interesting, right? If we're at like 120-degree weather, let's just say for those few weeks of the summer, and you're testing out the AC to see if the AC cools down the house, it's a little bit more of a legit test, don't you think? As opposed to like today, where like my house stayed around like 65 without the AC system on. So just kind of be careful, talk to your like home inspector, talk to the realtor as well too. But the home inspector, also understand that the home inspector is, you pay for it. Okay. And what I mean by that is they're bonded by California, everything too. So this home inspector, the loyalty should be to you 100%. It shouldn't be like, oh, let me talk to a realtor and this stuff. They work for you. This is why when you go through this home inspection period, the person buying the house is actually paying for it. Because for the realtor, good, bad news, whatever, it doesn't matter. The home inspectors work for you directly. That way you can get a fair shake, right? And talk to the home inspector and just say, hey, look, it's 24-year-old AC. I'm not happy about this, but it seems like it's pumping away. What do I do? And he'll advise you a little bit, and then talk to him about warranty companies, home warranty companies. He probably knows as well too, and figure that out. But now the other side of it and the positive side of it, congratulations. I mean, that's awesome. You're getting in there just before Halloween. You got like Thanksgiving on the horizon. You got New Year's and all that stuff too. And honestly, Lincoln, great spot. We got a house popping up on the market on Friday in Lincoln as well too. Lincoln's great. I like Lincoln. I think it's growing like crazy. I think Liberty, that community, I got to go check it out. The main person who's building Lincoln has been calling me, and I need to go out there to take a look at it. I'm going to actually interview him as well too. Lincoln is just going crazy. There's an airport out in Lincoln too, new schools and everything too. So Lincoln's really, really fun. It has almost like that Arizona kind of vibe out there too. Thunder Valley Steakhouse, really good steakhouse as well too. So hopefully you enjoy Lincoln. I think Lincoln's one of those spots that is going to be growing and growing and growing. And it's great. So congratulations too. Enjoy Sacramento. I did. And like I said, for a lot of people who maybe are tuning in for the first time, I am a Bay Area transplant. I moved here like 15 years ago or whatnot. And I moved into Sacramento. I always thought Sacramento was just a spot between Marin County and Tahoe. Thought it was a place where I'd stop and get In-N-Out Burger and get out of there as soon as fast as humanly possible. And then one year, I went to Sacramento and I discovered it. I really, really explored Sacramento. I found like communities on the water. I checked out Folsom Lake, Lake Natoma. I checked out what's called Sacramento River, American River. You can go rafting. You can buy a boat. I also noticed that all these communities had these movie nights in the park, and the community was very much like alive and thriving, and people here were really, really nice. And there was a food scene emerging, and all of a sudden there were just these fun things to do here in Sacramento. Was it hot? Absolutely, it was hot. I don't think there's one person in Sacramento who will tell you it's not hot, but I love the idea that I was away from earthquakes, tornadoes, hurricane, and I always wanted a pool, and in Sacramento, you could really enjoy it during the summertime. So I love the Sacramento area. So for me, that was kind of my story, but I would say congratulations to your home in Lincoln. You're going to enjoy it. I might bump into it at Home Goods as you're shopping for some new fun stuff for your house. So congratulations. All right, Pamela. Hey, how are you doing? You got to come out here to Sacramento. We got to show you around. All right, congratulations. Enjoy your new home. Absolutely. It was so funny. We just moved a couple people in to a house, Robin, and she's new on the team. And Robin is like the biggest sweetheart ever. And so she worked with these clients and they moved into the house. And the funniest thing is Robin was showing them tons of homes in various areas, because that's kind of what we do. We don't just do the one home. Here you go. Let's write up an offer. Robin is like diligent. So she was going to Gold River. She was going to Lincoln. She was going here and there and everything too. So we found a great home in Roseville. Really, really fantastic home. In fact, floor plan just like that went a contract. I think it was like a week before for like $40,000 more. And this house hit the market and Robin jumped on it and got it for the client. But the funniest part was they're in their new home. They're super excited. And they looked at Robin and they said the cutest thing ever. They said, "I hope we weren't too much of a hassle for you." And I'm like, Robin and I looked at each other and we were kind of laughing. We're like, this is a big purchase for you. We are so glad you found the right house. Now, we want to see photos of things that you've done to the house, and we'd love to swing by to see how the house is good. But our main goal is not to get that call 3 years from now saying you don't like your house. If we worked with you, hopefully you understand that our main goal is to find you a house that you love. And we want to see those photos of what you guys have done with your houses as well too, because for me, that's one of the things that I get a kick of. I still get photos from this one couple that moved to Lincoln a long, long time ago. And they were like, they're one of those people who are like, they moved in and they were kind of just alone, and it was just one of those ordeals, but they love Lincoln and everything too. So for us, it was great. And, Brenda, if you're listening to this, congratulations again. We're very happy for you. All right, here we go. Mark, what do you think about getting inspections on brand new construction prior to the first walkthrough before closing? Is it worth the money? Oof, that's a tough one. Okay. So like for me, if I was going through that, one is it depends on the builder. I think it depends on the reviews that I'm seeing in the community. Like, and here's what I mean. Everyone's always like, oh, this builder's this way, that builder's that way. It doesn't work that way, right? Superintendent is very important in any community, in any like project, right? So the superintendent, like for example, how can I say, I can't just say blanket, one builder's this, one builder's that. I can tell you one of the cleanest handoffs we've ever had was a client of ours named Alex, who got a handoff at KB in Elk Grove because there was two superintendents. And the only thing I found wrong on the house was a plank of wood in the fence. And they fixed it within, I don't know what it was, like 6 hours. So I would say builder, community, superintendent, and just kind of figure out exactly like how much and look at reviews. I mean, the thing is, and also you guys out there who are buying new homes, put reviews out there, help each other out and figure it out. Also talk to a couple of the neighbors as well too. But if it was me, let me think, would I do it? I probably would. I mean, just myself, if I was going to buy a new home, I probably would do the inspection. But if I didn't, or if I was, if I was like, the house looks good, I'm good to go. I know we have that like 10-year structural. I know we have that year fit and finish, and they were very responsive on fixing everything and everything too. I might leave it to maybe the 10-month mark. Then they'd get the inspector to do everything, then hand the list, the fit and finish list, to the builder as well too. I think it really is one of those things where you got to kind of vibe out the community, you got to vibe out the superintendent, the builder as well too, and talk to the neighbors and see how their process was as far as like, buying the home. Did they find a lot of things wrong with it? We have one person we're working with currently right now. He bought a house in Mountain House, and right now he's going through foundation issues and everything too. And the neighborhood and all the neighbors kind of are having a situation like that too. We didn't work with them on that, but at the same time, I think it's really important also to do reviews on the community. I think one of the things that a lot of people don't do because they just don't do it. I think putting reviews on the communities you buy homes in, I think are super important for people who come after you. And I know you're like, I bought my house. Let them do what they do. But the idea is also, if you had seen reviews beforehand for the community you bought, it would have given you a little bit more of a heads up. So I'm a big fan of like, if you get a house and you're legit about the process, you put the review out there for other people to see when they come in. I think that that's a big one. In fact, we've had a couple people that were, they were kind of going towards a community in Folsom. And we were like, okay, before you pull the trigger, please go to the forums. We'll send you, link where, and they went to the forums and they saw all the reviews about this builder and this community and the superintendent. And the next morning they were like, yeah, we're not doing that. So I think reviews are super important. I think vibing out the superintendent, seeing what their background is, responsiveness, the community over there too. I think the builder, as far as their reputation, I think all those little pieces of the puzzle are going to give you a little bit of a gut check if you should do it. Now, for me, like I said, unless it was like, if it was like the dream and everything was perfect and I started looking at that house during the, the stages of electrical drywall and everything looked pretty good, I might, but if it was like, problem after problem after problem, I'd probably get a home inspector in. So I think it's one of those things. And if you guys have questions about inspections, let me know. Our team has probably closed more new homes in the last like 6-7 years than any team in the area. We know people at Toll Brothers, Taylor. Now that doesn't mean that, if you're working with a realtor, they're not good. I just mean that we have some connections in the various communities and we could figure out exactly what you're looking at. So some builders don't even let you do it, which is a shame. That's another thing too. And I know I might be going on tangents this morning or this evening, but one of the things that always really annoyed me about new home builders is the fact that if you get a resale home, right, you're allowed to get an inspection. You're 100% like, get an inspection. This is what you do. I mean, I don't know, normally if I was on the listing side and someone was trying to buy a home, I think I would say get an inspection, even if I was on the other side of the transaction. And so for me, I always find it a little suspect when a builder's like, no, you can't do an inspection before we close. No, we've got inspectors. We're good. Our builders are great. Don't worry about it. Why not? Why wouldn't you? And there are some builders that are basically like, you are not allowed to do an inspection on the home until you actually get the keys. For me, I think that's something that shouldn't be. I think if you want an inspection, you should be legally you should be able to do that. And I think some builders don't do that. And that always annoys me. So, okay. Tangent done. All right. Sag's only, I love this. Sag is only hot in the summer. I know. And it's so funny, I'm with you 100%. And like, there's so many people out there who are like, oh, Sacramento, 120 degrees all year long. I'm like, no, not really. I'm like, yeah, it's hot during the summer, granted. But, like I said, it's October right now and it's nice, cool weather. It's going to get colder. Fireplaces is going to be going. People are going to have fun. Everyone's going to be out there in their coats and everything too. So for me, I think the seasonality of Sacramento is something that a lot of people don't really take into account, especially if they're moving in here. It's beautiful. And not only that, the type of like foliage and the type of greenery we have in Sacramento really makes you appreciate fall, spring, and winter as well too. So for me, you guys, if you guys think Sacramento is hot 24/7, it ain't. Come here right now. Come here today and you'll see what I mean. Completely different vibe. All right. Hey, Mark, do you think it's realistic for a young married guy like myself to buy a home for around $400,000? Are there any areas with homes in that price point? FYI, I'm a first-time home buyer. Ooh, 400,000. Okay, so my first question to you would be, do you need, where do you need to live? Like, where do you need to be close to? If you tell me, oh, I work remote, I would say if you're looking for $400,000 and you're looking for a new home, I think there's a community by Elliott that you can do, but Elliott doesn't give that great incentives. I would say also if you're looking for new, you could get a break sometime during maybe like November and December because the new homes are already hurting. I mean, they're just, you guys have seen those deal videos, like it's just, they're not doing as well as they should be. I would say, 400, if you're looking for a brand new home, I would say if you work remote, Plumas Lake, Linda, I think you can get something under probably 400 or around there, and probably amazing incentives. Like my buddy Dave at LGI Homes is telling me about, like they're giving people like 4% interest rates or something. So you can definitely do it. It just depends on where you need to be close to. I'd say realistically speaking, in Sacramento's market, in Rancho, if you want like, let's say a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house in the Rancho area, probably going to be paying maybe between like, and you're talking like, I just got to get me something, 480 to maybe like 520-ish. I think West Roseville, you're looking at maybe like 580 to maybe like 640. So but there are areas, and then if you go resale, which is another thing too. I was just talking to a really nice guy on the phone a little while ago, and I was telling him, I like the Rosemont, the College Green area. I think those areas are really nice for, buying a house, doing some house hacking. And I think here's the thing that a lot of people are looking at these crazy incentives that new homes are doing. And I don't blame you, right? New home incentives are just nuts right now too. But I also think right now, because resale and digital market is kind of increasing, I do think you can write in a nice little seller credit. I've been getting offers for houses we have with seller credits, hey, $20,000, $30,000 seller credit. Now these credits, if you write it in, like, let's say you're buying a house or you see a house on the market for like, I don't know, 400,000, right? It's been sitting there for like 2 months and it's just sitting there, and you say, look, I'm okay giving $400,000 for that house, but I want to write in the offer that I want to get a $30,000 seller credit from the seller. And that $30,000 that you get, put it towards buying down your interest rate. And with a $30,000 buy down, you probably get something really, really good. You can go through 2-1 buy down, 2-1 buy down, or whatnot. So I think there's options for you. You just have to be a little creative and just kind of look. But again, like I said, it all depends on where you want to live as well too. If you say, hey, I want to live in Folsom, probably not going to happen. Roseville, not going to happen. Rockland, not going to happen. Rancho, yeah. In the resale market, I think you can go like maybe Citrus. You can probably go somewhere downtown as well too. Some of those areas. There's areas, but it's definitely going to be one of those things where it's like a needle in a haystack, but I think it can be done. I mean, we've done it with a lot of clients as well too. A lot of clients that we're working with, are not in the best financial situation as far as like, oh, I can buy a Toll Brothers home. A lot of our clients are like, first time home buyer. I'm not really loving this economy too much, and I'm a little fearful. I don't want to overextend myself. I don't want to have those 2 a.m, sweats. I want to get something that I can afford, something that's nice. It just takes a lot more looking, but it's doable. And, like I said, reach out to me. We'll talk to you a little bit about it. And what I bring to the table is transparency. I'm not going to blow smoke. I'm not going to waste your time. If it's doable, it's doable. If it's not, it's not. And that's what you'll get from me. All right. We went home hunting last weekend. Ugh, how strict is a red light camera in Rancho in Sunrise and Folsom Boulevard? Sunrise and Folsom. Honestly, as a realtor, I don't know. I don't think, I'm not sure. Honestly, I haven't heard. I will tell you one thing. I haven't heard of too many people getting tickets from that. So, I'm sending you good vibes too. Maybe the camera's broke. So I'm not sure about that. All right. How do you coach buyers through cold feet in the unpredictable financial climate? One is, I always like to tell people, one of the biggest things that we do, I think real estate, being a good realtor, I don't really think, like, how can you say, like, I love real estate. I love what I do and I love working with people. But I think one of the things a lot of the times that gets overlooked in our industry, everyone's like, oh, negotiator, this and that. I think for the most part, you got to be good at real estate therapy. You got to talk to someone, you got to just listen to them, give them the pros and cons, and let them make an educated decision. And that's my big thing, right? A lot of people might be freaked out and everything too. And you don't want to talk anyone into anything. And you don't want to like, oh man, this house is great. You got to definitely buy. You don't want to go in that direction, because that's just wrong. I mean, there's so many more, that's just horrible. I wouldn't want to be on the other side of that. For us, what I do usually, and we work with clients, I mean, sometimes it takes them years to find a home, right? It's just all about kind of putting out the pros and cons, having them make a wants list versus a needs list, and also kind of figuring out where, where their price point, and not price or a house, what does their mortgage payment look like, and not, going to Costco when you got nothing in your stomach. That's a big thing. But for me, real estate therapy and listening to someone, listening about, their situation, their job situation, their fears, and then not trying to solve it, right? Not saying, oh, you know what? You're scared about buying a house. Don't worry about it. Buy the house, and then afterwards you'll be fine. No. Why are you scared? Like, what does that look like to you? Like, is this house and this payment, going to freak you out? Is it a job thing? Like, let me know what are your worries? And it's like, okay, blah, blah, blah. Okay, well, let's do the pros and cons. If you stay where you are, this is what you're paying right now too. If you go to rent, this is what you're looking at probably paying as well too. If you buy this house, you're in an area, the price point is, competitive with the other houses, and this house price per square foot is a pretty good deal. Doesn't mean you have to buy it, but at the same time, understand that every penny you put into that house, at the end of the day, if you need to get out of it, as long as it's like you're not buying a brand new home and surrounded by new homes, you might be in a decent spot to recoup some money off it as well too. So there's definitely different ways we talk to people about stuff too. But one thing I will say to this, and everyone on the team is on the same page. No one talks anyone into anything. It's more just about listening, giving pros and cons. And we're big believers in that, people are smart in general. If you just lay it out so they understand, the pros and cons of stuff, and you answer their questions, everyone will come to that kind of answer. If it's a good buy, if it's not, if it's their time, if it's not their time, you just have to just have patience and not just be about the check, right? So many realtors I know right now are just so about the turn and burn and next client and all this stuff too. I mean, I don't know if I would want to do real estate that way. So for me, and I know, and a lot of people who I work with right now, and a lot of people, our clients, you'll know, because we go everywhere. Rockland, then we flip it to El Dorado Hills. We go to Loomis. Sometimes we even go back to Davis. This is a big decision. It's a big purchase. And a lot of times we put people in the houses and they're there for 10, 12 years. So I'd like to think that in this climate, for me, one of the things just in general for everyone who's looking to buy, I would say the economy, with the job situation, all the economy stuff going on with the market and interest rates going here and there, it's a tough one. We're looking at what was it? Blue Shield up in El Dorado Hills had a layoff as well too. It's just one of those times that I would say, figure out about your job situation, money in the bank. And, I don't think this is the market where you need to overbuy. I don't think it's the market where you need to make that crazy purchase if you don't have the money in the bank and your job stability isn't there. For me, I'm very, very tactical, very strategic about my purchases as well too. I say to myself, how much money do I have in the bank? If something gets bad, how many years do I have to kind of be able to do this? So we try to work with people like that. And, sometimes they don't buy. Sometimes they say, you know what, it's just not my time. And for us, hey, when you're ready, you're ready. So hopefully that answered your question. But for us, this is a big purchase for anyone. And the last thing I'd want to do ever is to put someone in a situation where they're sweating it at 2 a.m. and they feel like they made the bad decision. And, that's just not how we are. So hopefully that made sense. Not enough coffee, or maybe a lot of coffee towards the beginning and not towards the end. All right. We had checked out Roseville, Placer One, South Rancho Cordova. I'm leaning towards Roseville, but the prices in South Rancho are more attractive. I know. It's crazy, right? Okay, so West Roseville and Rancho were neck and neck with prices, right? Back in the day, maybe 3 years ago, you had D.R. Horton, Meritage building some homes out there as well too. Meritage started building a little bit at a higher price point, and D.R. Horton did the same thing. So all of a sudden you had West Roseville. For a new home, you can get something maybe a 3 and 2. I think Beazer still has a couple just under 600. In Rancho, what KHOV did was they just loaded up with a lot of low 500s, high 400s. And then you got Elliott also doing the same kind of thing. And so all of a sudden what you noticed in Rancho is that West Roseville was the big dog. They were the one where they were closing so many new homes. Boom, 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 boom. Now they still are. But what you're noticing right now, because the economy and everything too, a lot of people are feeling, I don't know if I want to spend 600 plus on a home. I want to just get in there. I want to get my house. And Rancho's really filling that need of like the high 400s, low 500s. And there's not really another spot, maybe Vineyard with Taylor Morrison, but those houses also, you got to wait about 6 months because they're always, being sold. Rancho is just that spot where if you're looking for like high 400s, low 500s, that's a spot. Now to top it all off, Rancho tends to have the best incentives as well too. So it's just a hard one. You look at West Roseville and, I love West Roseville. I think West Roseville is just sweet. I was out there today. I think West Roseville, I think the new Costco, I think coming out, I think the new surf park that they're building, Placer One, all that stuff is so amazing. But I do think right now with West Roseville is they don't have those communities that you can jump into for like low 500s or low 500s, high 400s. And so that's the big thing. Roseville is changing. Now, a lot of people in West Roseville might be freaking out going, oh man, Rancho took over our spot. It took over your spot for the most homes sold, but at the same time, West Roseville is still charging. There's new communities like Amoroso Ranch. There's like Winding Creek out there too. There's Bickford, Placer One, Placer Vineyards. I mean, there's a whole lot of building. It's just the price per square foot and the price point has just gone up because of all the things that are coming to West Roseville. So what I'm noticing, a lot of people that we work with are like, we want to go to Rancho for the deal, but we really like West Roseville too. So it's tough. I don't know what I would do. I'd say we work with a lot of clients who are like looking at Rancho, looking at West Roseville for maybe maybe $50,000, $60,000 more. They go back and forth. Some pick Roseville, some pick Rancho. I'd say it also comes down to the idea of like how, if you're going to Rancho, how are you feeling about the Connectors project? How are you feeling about Braden? How are you feeling about Folsom's development? And do you think that's going to become so huge for you that you're not going to need to go to Roseville's mall because that drive is a little much? So there are definitely factors, but I will tell you this. How cool is it to be in an area that we have so many new home communities? And I'm not telling you like you love new homes or you hate new homes, but I'm telling you this, options are always good. And one of the things that I love about Sacramento straight up is the idea that, I can buy in Rancho. I can buy in West Roseville. I can go to Elk Grove. I can go to Vineyard. I can go to Lincoln. Hey, Folsom's over there as well too. El Dorado Hills. You have all these new home communities. I mean, think about people who live in the Bay, live in Los Angeles, live in other parts who don't have these new home communities. We have these options. Now, not only does it give you more options on what to buy, more incentives, but it also strives up competition. Part of the reasons why our new homes are like at the, sometimes even like cheaper than resale homes in the area is because there's so many builders building so many homes that the incentives are competitive. Everyone's competing for the best incentives, best floor plans, best price point. And guess who wins? The buyers. So for me, I would say for you guys too, I mean, how cool is that? Like if you were in like what, Santa Barbara, you wouldn't be saying, oh, you know what? I got this new home community and that one over there and this one over there. And maybe you get lucky and you get one new home community. Here, we got so many, it's just absolutely nuts. So for me, like I said, if I'm a buyer, I'm loving life. I'm saying to myself, maybe I didn't like new homes, but I love the idea of getting a 4 whatever it is interest rate. And that's awesome. Or if I say, you know what? I don't like new homes. I want resale homes. And guess what? Because there's so many new homes, resale prices are going down a little bit because resale's hurting because everyone's going to new homes. Now I can jump into a resale home. So I think it's a win-win. So that's my own 2 cents on that. All right. The home I'm buying is from Pulte. 2 superintendents already jumped on a couple fixes I point out during the construction phase. Don't see anything sketchy so far, but better safe than sorry. Yeah, absolutely. And also, here's a big test. I always say to them this. Hey, do you guys mind if I do my own inspection? And see what their reaction is to that. If their reaction is like, no, we don't allow it, or like, you know what, we've already done we've already done the inspections, it's good, yada, yada. If they basically tell you, yeah, if you feel like it, great, that would make me feel good as well too. So read that a little bit. All right. I'm in a little known Bay Area called Terra Hills. Listing next week, looking at Citrus Heights, Carmichael, Orangevale. Why now? Why not? I love that. Hope agent works her magic, selling and buying in November. Yikes. Here's the thing. I've seen miracles happen. I've seen good stuff happen in November and December. I've seen, the craziest thing is I think every single year we at least have one client who we go out in the rain with them. We're looking for homes and they get a great deal. So I think that if it was me and I was looking to basically make the move and I didn't have pressure, there wasn't any moment I needed to buy. I love the idea of buying like November, December, you know what I mean? January. I love that time because I've seen amazing deals. I think at that point in time, people who have their houses on the market really kind of want to wheel and deal. Um, you know, so for me, I think, I'm wishing you the best, but I've seen a lot of those things pan out. So yeah, I think it's good. And, like I said, all those spots you mentioned, Citrus, Carmichael, Orangevale, I would also throw in maybe Fair Oaks. I think Fair Oaks is another one you might want to look at as well too, but you got some great spots to pick. I call them the stepchildren because sometimes they're not as known as like your Folsoms and the Roseville. They get forgotten, but Orangevale, love Orangevale. Carmichael, also Citrus Heights, like the Mariposa area, all those spots have great spots. So good luck. And like I said, I'm sending good vibes your way, but if it was me, November, December, January, that's when I'd be hunting. All right. Sam Lebanese. We owned a Pulte new construction in Washington State area. Definitely have the punch list and spent time identifying all the issues, both before and also after you move. Yeah. And that's another thing too. Okay. So one of the things I will tell you, and this is something we tell all our clients, you're going to go there for the walkthroughs and all that stuff too. Use your phone, take photos. Click, 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 take all the photos, boom, 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 and then store them on Google Drive. So you have like a record. Like I'm telling you, like that's the hugest thing for people. Like a lot of people are like writing them down or, putting the tape and everything too. I'm telling them, take photos, and just have kind of like a back catalog of the photos of the house. Even when they're doing like the electrical or the walkthrough, just go through and just do a video. At least you have that piece if you need it in the future. So, all right. Boom. Next one. Thanks for the feedback, Ginger. How do you like the build quality so far? All right. I work in Lincoln. Oh, okay. So Lincoln, let me think. If you work in Lincoln, what was it? Yeah. I mean, what's it called? You might be able to find some in LGI up in Lincoln, but I think Lincoln wise, what would I do? I still like Linda. I still like that area. I know it's a little far. I would say if you went out just a little bit further, I'd say maybe like you could probably get that. I think Lincoln, you could probably get some deals out there as well too. You might have to be a little outskirts of Lincoln, but I think you can get it done. It's going to take a little bit of hunting, a little bit of looking, but at the same time, I think you can get that. Let me think. If I was in Lincoln and I wanted to get a little bit closer, that'd be hard. Maybe old Roseville as well too. There's some spots, but like I said, if you feel like it, just anonymously send me a text and I'll give you some of the areas that I would within maybe 20 minutes of Lincoln that I would look if I was you, but I think it's doable. See, the thing that's for me, that's kind of fun is, these little hunts, these little hunts for like the impossible house or like, hey, can you make that happen? It's like, maybe I've been watching too much House Hunters, but those are the type of things I really, really like. I would also say when you get a realtor or when you're looking for a realtor, make sure that, they're going to be attentive. They're going to take you everywhere you need to go as well too. This isn't going to be easy, but at the end of the day, if you can find something like that, you got yourself a good realtor. All right. I'm originally from Louisiana, where you begin to sweat a millisecond after stepping outside. God, this is the time where I need these, but I'm still clinging to knot. All right. One more time. Originally from Louisiana, where you begin to sweat a millisecond after stepping outside. This weather is a dream. Oh, I'll tell you something. Yeah, okay. And tell me if I'm right about this, because this is something that I always kind of laugh about. Like my wife, she's always like, oh, do you feel the humidity in the air? And I'm like, yeah, okay, it's a little humidity, but comparatively towards like Florida, like other areas, this is like not even humid. This for me is like nothing. I've lived in humidity, like where you put your white shirt in the closet and then like 3 days later, all of a sudden it's yellow around here. Yeah, I'm not a big fan. Humidity does not work for me. For me, I absolutely love California weather. I think the climate in Sacramento is fantastic. I love, love, love the cool weather here right now too. And I love the dry climate. For me, this is the ideal temperature. I couldn't think of any other temperature, maybe except for Now and again, Los Angeles in wintertime isn't bad. But I don't know if I'd feel comfortable in Southern California having like an 85-degree, holiday season. I don't know. I like it in Sacramento. All right. We sold the place after 2 years. We moved back to California. Yeah. We loved the layout of the house. It was really functional. However, the fit and finishes could be better. Yeah. The thing about Pulte, I will tell you this. Pulte's like secret sauce is the bedroom count. I have never seen a builder in the Sacramento area offer like 7-bedroom, 3,000 square foot homes. I mean, I see like maybe 5, but 7. If you're looking, and this is one thing for everyone else that's looking. I'm not going to say Pulte good or bad or whatnot, but I'm going to say this. If you're someone who's looking for a house, a brand new house, and you need like 6, 7, 8 bedrooms, Pulte is pretty much the only builder in this semi-custom kind of building that I've seen offer that. And what you're going to be thinking, oh, it's going to be just too tight. It's not. For some weird magic, Pulte puts in a lot of bedrooms, but also the houses feel very, very spacious. So I gotta give that to Pulte. All right. Boom. Da-da. If you want to stay under 400,000, I'd say buy condo. There are a lot of them all over town. Yeah. The only thing about condos, I will tell you this. If you go the condo route, which I think is great, I think the HOAs tend to be a little higher, and just make sure you do your research on deferred maintenance. I've heard of people buying condos and all of a sudden it's like there's been a lot of deferred maintenance that they need to pay in the second they close escrow and everything too. So just be very diligent of that. But condos, yeah, definitely work. Boom, boom. All right, I'm 65 in a big weenie now. I did the 80 West to Bay Bridge many times. I'd rather do that than 50 in Sac. Laugh out loud. I'm with you. But supposedly the what's called the 50 will be done by summer next year. So if that's done, all right, we'll see. All right. Hey, Mark, going to sell soon. What are your thoughts on living in a house while selling? Also thoughts on staging versus empty house. I think I know the answer, but I'd love to hear your thoughts. All right. Number one, it all depends on the whole, like living and selling the house. I think that's fine to do as long as here are the big caveats, right? You just got to make the house as easy to view as possible, right? What you're going to notice is realtors are driving around a neighborhood. Maybe they showed a house, or there was a house maybe like 3 blocks away, and they're driving through and they see the sign and they're like, with clients, you've just got to make the house very, very, very easy to show. And that's the main thing. Like sometimes we work with clients that have dogs, they're working all day and the dog is there and it's just a pain. Or sometimes you have people who are like, in the house and it's just like, oh, well, we don't have time to show it today. Like this is one of those things where if you can live in the house, make sure it's neat, make sure it's clean, make sure all the stuff that you have in the house, it's kind of like, maybe like a little bit more like, put all that stuff in the garage, right? Live very minimal and everything too. Make sure the house looks really, really nice. Make sure it just smells nice. You're not cooking bacon, because I had a couple clients that cook bacon, didn't work out right. But I would say for the most part, you can definitely do it. You just got to make the house. The main thing is make it showable. And that's where it gets kind of crazy. Everyone wants that perfect, viewing. Oh, hey, guess what? I have someone who's going to look at your house tomorrow at 9:00. Ooh, perfect. We can make this work. But chances are it's like, hey, there's a realtor standing in front of your house and they really need to see the home. So just understand that the more accessible, the more like you make your house, ready to be viewed, the more you're going to basically have someone, have more people looking at your house and maybe putting in offers. That's huge. A lot of people too, for open houses, go to Tahoe for the weekend or something and just let the person just run the open house. And like I said, keep the house minimalist, photos off the wall, and just in really, really good shape. I know this is going to sound so cliche. You only get one chance for a first impression. And a lot of times when a person walks in the door, and what I'm finding more than not in this market is they want that, like, I love this house feeling, right? A lot of people, we talk to people all the time on the phone, and they're not about fixtures these days. Some investors are lurking, but not so much. It's more like if I'm going to pay a high interest rate, I'm going to buy a home, I need it to be perfect. I want turnkey. Maybe a little dated, but it's got to be livable. It's got to be good. So you really want to kind of have that first impression where they kind of fall in love with the house. Because right now in this market, you're seeing a lot of competition. So if your house doesn't wow them, the next house might. And that's where it gets a little bit dangerous. Now, as far as staging goes, It depends on your furniture. Honestly, I would say, you can get away with a couple rooms. Staging is just one of those things that you got to kind of see the house and see how it flows. Michelle from our team, she's a photographer and she worked with some of the top interior designers in like here in Southern California, in the Bay Area. And so she's kind of our eyes and ears for that. She'll go through a house and go like it, don't like it. We need this room staged. In fact, we're listing a house in Lincoln. The entire house is staged, but there were 2 bedrooms upstairs that weren't staged. And it was really, really bugging her. So we got them to actually stage those two bedrooms as well too, because she had such a good like idea of like, this is what we need done and everything too. So I would say also with staging, you need to show, like, if you have one of those, like, you know, those big open concept houses that you're kind of looking at the space and you're kind of like, do I put a couch there? Where's the TV go? You don't want to give people that kind of like impression when they're walking in a house. You want to give them a lot of like, you know, you want them to fall in love with the house. You want them to know exactly what it would feel like if you walk in a house, if you live in it. And, you know, don't be offended. Sometimes we tell people, hey, look, I know you love your couch, but that couch isn't going to sell the house. We have to bring something else in. So rare occasions do I have a house that's like perfect. Normally we stage a couple rooms, you know, and also it's about lighting. Lighting is a big one. And also diffusers are good for the smells in the house as well too. But lighting as well. This is a big one too. And a lot of people don't focus on the lighting, is the fact that like, you know, if you have like brown, like tones all over your house, you know, use tungsten bulbs. It'll give that warm feeling in your house. Now, if you have like a lot of grays, a lot of whites, and you want to bring it out as well too, you can use like white lights, but don't use too many white lights too, because then you'll add a little bit more of the cold feeling to the house. Have you ever walked into a house that's like gray and white and they're using really bright white and it just looks like really cold? It doesn't feel like you could live there. The energy's not right. So you have to have a balance of lighting as well too. So I know that's kind of weird, but for me, lighting is one of the keys. Like the new home that we're listing in Lincoln, oh my, the lighting is so amazing in this house. The lighting itself sells this house. So I would say staging, we probably have to take a look at it, and I'd get Michelle in there to just kind of go through the house. And as far as living and working, yeah, it's fine. Just make sure the house is accessible and it looks good, smells good, and it's ready to go at a moment's notice. So that'd be me. All right. Joe, huge shout out to Mark and Lana for making our home buying journey so smooth and completely stress-free. Man, I am so happy for you guys too. It was so funny. Like we traveled a long road to find you that perfect house too. It's so funny. From like Richmond to what was it, to Tri-Point and to Woodside. So I'm happy. And like West Roseville, I was talking about you guys actually last week. I'm like, West Roseville's awesome. You know, the floor plan you guys got, I think it's amazing. And there's something about this time of the year too that really gets me excited when people get homes, because I know they're setting up for a nice holiday season. And I know when I did my last move with my family, it was like, I was so excited to decorate for like, October, for Thanksgiving, for everything too. So I'm excited for you guys, and you guys are awesome. Awesome. Can't recommend them enough. If you're looking for help with your real estate needs, they're the best. Joe, you are awesome. I appreciate you, and I appreciate you guys. You guys are awesome. And like I said, I will say this to my last breath. We have the best clients, bar none. You guys are awesome. And, our priority is finding you your home that you are just drooling over, that you're super excited, that you're smiling. Because for me, like I said, my last move, I still, to this day, I wake up and I got a big old smile on my face, and I want everyone to experience that. Home buying, especially with these rates and everything too, if we can get you that home that makes you smile, and no one likes paying a mortgage payment, but at least you're paying a mortgage payment towards something that like makes you smile, we're there. All right. Boom. West Roseville is better than Rancho Cordova. It's closer to the airport and also more peaceful and harmonious. You know what? I'm going to tell you something. Joe would definitely agree with you. And, I definitely 100%. West Roseville is awesome. All right. Thank you. We like JMC home models we saw in Roseville. JMC standard upgrades, one of the best standard upgrades, period. JMC is local and great reputation. Like JMC homes are great. We put a lot of people into JMC homes. They're building a lot of communities. They're building in Placer One, I think also. So JMC, never had any problems with JMC. So I'd say, yeah, I second that. JMC is really, really nice. Not to mention, JMC's having some deals. JMC has got some great deals right now too. In their communities in West Roseville, all that stuff too. So I would say, JMC doesn't look like it's stopping anytime soon because a lot of people are buying those homes. All right, Josh, I pay almost $3,000 in rent right now. My wife just inherited almost $200,000. I feel like we have to put it all down just so we can have an affordable mortgage. It all depends. I mean, I would say depending on what you want, right? If you're looking for like, I don't know, first for me, I would probably say like, if it depends on what payment you're looking at. New homes, I think as far as like, incentives and everything too, I think that you might find, and I'm not guaranteeing this, but I think you might find as we get closer to the end of the year, you could see a deal that you absolutely love, moving homes as well too. So you might get lucky in that arena. I would say also if you're looking for resale and resale is the route you want to go, I would probably also say that if you wanted to, you could probably use get a seller credit put into your deal to see if you can buy down the rate as well too. The main thing for people too out there, and this is what I would say, the biggest hint I have about buying in this market is don't focus so much on the price point of the house. Focus on your monthly payment. We're talking everything included, home insurance. We're talking like Melrose. We're talking about solar, everything. Look at that one lump sum and look at that and say to yourself, this is where I want to be. If I can pay this every single month, I'm not waking up at 2 a.m. freaking out. This is where I want to be. That's going to basically dictate exactly what you're looking to buy. And if you can make it work, great. If not, then, and it's adding too much stress to you, then maybe it's not your time. But a lot of people they're so focused on the price point of the house. They're like, I want to buy something that's like $500,000. At times, you go to Rancho, you can get yourself $500,000 house. The incentives are there and you might be able to buy a little bit more. Sometimes you go to an area where there's no incentives and you can't even buy 500. So kind of focus in a little bit on what your monthly is going to look like. If you're going resale, work with a good lender that's very aggressive. He's got your back and everything too. If you're going to go for the new home stuff, I would say just know that payment. Walk into the new homes, look at the new homes. And then when you find a house you like or floor plan you like, the lender or the realtor or the sales associate is going to be there and just say, look, I'm trying to stay under $3,000 a month. This is exactly what I have. Can you make this happen? Sometimes they'll say no, and they might give you a call back a week later and say, hey, you know what? We were rethinking it because we have a lot of houses on the market. So this is the season to negotiate. All right. All the new master plan communities we've been seeing in Sacramento area, like Houston Light. The elementary schools in Texas are like the size of the high schools here in California. I know it's nuts, huh? We're getting better though. I will tell you this, but I will tell you one thing. Okay. So this is my own personal opinion. I do think that schools, I think they get a little bit intimidating too when they get too big. For me, I don't know, my senior class was like 350 people and it felt just right. For me, I don't know necessarily if I would put my 10-year-old into a school that looked like a college and it was her elementary school. I think that would make me feel a little nervous, like she'd get lost in the shuffle. So I think that here in California, here in the Sacramento area, I like the way the schools are. I'm just afraid they're going to get too big. Like the elementary school, that new one they have in Folsom Ranch. I love it. I think it's great, huge facilities and everything too, but it just feels so big. It makes me wonder how many kids they have planning going to elementary. I like schools being a little tiny, more like, teachers, more like a good ratio of students and teachers as well too. I think if you get schools that are too big, I think that's intimidating. I don't think students get that much of attention. That's just me, my own personal opinion. But that's it. All right. Boom. All right. Ginger, Roseville is a perfect place for me. It's conducive to my hobbies, skills, and also a place where personality fits in with the environment in Roseville. Roseville's fun. I was in Roseville earlier today. Love West Roseville, love Central Roseville, love Roseville, and great food as well too. Oof, the food scene in Roseville is not too shabby. All right. Hey, Mark. I always smash that like button when I tune into your wonderful show. Thank you, Wendy. And Wendy is also the thing about Wendy is we've been working with Wendy for a little while, trying to find her a home. we're in no rush. We're looking to find her that perfect spot. We're looking at, actually, Rob and I were talking about Wendy. Wendy, we were talking about you today, and we were both on the same page. We want to find the home that Wendy sends us photos of that home after she's done all that amazing work on it, cabinetry, all the stuff that she wants to do, and that she loves, and she won't even dream of leaving that home. We can find you that home, Wendy. We did our job right. All right. Boom. We're looking for an investment property, and Roseville feels like it'd be more attractive for renters. I would say the thing about Roseville in general, you just got to check the job centers and everything too. I would say also talking to the communities and kind of figuring out exactly what the owner to renter ratio is as well too. A lot of the sales associates know how many people have bought them that are investors, how many people have bought them that are like first time home buyers. So, or, primary home buyers as well too. But like I said, West Roseville right now, there's still Costco's being built there and all that stuff is being developed there. All these areas for me, it's like you're kind of planting seeds and the water's coming in. All these areas are going to grow. So I don't know. I'm loving the Sacramento area. All right. Coming from Terre Hills, Richmond area, you might like Folsom. All right. I think here's the thing. I think for me, straight up, take a look at it all. Take a look at Folsom, take a look at Roseville, Rockland, Lincoln, West Sacramento, Sacramento proper. This is a big decision, so I think at least that's how I would play it. All right. That's what's up. All right. Quick poll. How many viewers left California and then move back again? Count me as one. I'm telling you, I tell so many people that. I'm like, and you know what? I'll tell you something too, MG. Like, you're lucky that you actually made the move back. There's so many people I talked to that moved out of California that they say to me, I couldn't afford the house that I just sold to get out of California. And now I'm stuck somewhere else. I don't like it. I want to move back to California. I can't even move. I can't afford to move back to California. So I think it is definitely a reality. I think I hear I get phone calls about that all the time. People are, oh yeah, forget California. I'm leaving California. And for one reason or another, they're just coming back. I would say to anyone who's debating on leaving California, because everyone deserves to live where they want to live, maybe rent a place for a couple of years to figure out if that's for you or not. California is still pretty amazing. I couldn't picture myself living anywhere else. California is great. The weather, the people, the climate. I'm going to go up snowboarding in a couple of weeks. I'm excited about that with my daughter. Then I'm probably going to go for the holidays. I'm going to probably take a day at least to San Francisco, watch the Nutcracker. Good times. All right. We moved back from California to Seattle and back to California. The Seattle weather is, what I've heard about Seattle, what I've heard also about Portland is because it's overcast so much that it kind of affects with people as well too. Like I said, we get a lot of people coming in from Seattle, from Portland, from and a lot of those people, it's so funny because I worry a little bit about Seattle folk and Portland folk coming into our area because it is definitely warmer during the summertime. But I'll tell you something, I don't know. Like I wouldn't want to live in an area where it wasn't as sunny as we have it here. We're really lucky here in Sacramento. All right. No, sir. Everything Mark said, keep neat, clear as possible. Always take your pets with you. My realtor said I did a great job, but I'm not boarding my elder dog, traumatized IMO. Yeah, and that's the thing. You just got to understand. You just got to make the house ready to go anytime, and it can be a little difficult. But you want to get the best price for your house. All right. That's exactly my story. I was the only person in my family who hated Seattle because of the weather. Yeah. All right. In Grant Bay, a better choice than Folsom. Is Grant Bay a better choice than Folsom? I'd say price point wise, I think Folsom, the median home price is around probably like $750,000. Give or take. I think Grant Bay, it's over $1 million. So I think there are different areas too. I think, this is a little bit of a generalization, but I think in Grant Bay, they just build big homes. If you're looking for like an estate home, if you're looking for something like that, Grant Bay is a great spot. People love Grant Bay. People love Folsom. I think Folsom has a little bit more of like a kind of like, the stores are kind of right by the community and everything too. Grant Bay, you got these honking houses, these big houses too. I would say that would be it. If I'm looking for something, maybe like a 5,000 square foot home, I want that guest home and everything too. Grant Bay is a great spot for me. Folsom, I think they have some nice areas like American River Canyon North, Empire Ranch with great views, close to Costco. Now the big one though, I will tell you this, Grant Bay, PG&E, And it might be a little harder to get home insurance. You just got to check. In Folsom, you got SMUD. So that's a big one as well too. But I don't think there's ever a better and a worse. I just think it's completely subjective. I think some people love Grant Bay. Some people love Folsom. I would just say though, if you look at it based on statistics, average home price is over like, $1 million in Grant Bay. In Folsom, we're hovering around 750. All right. All right, Josh, go check Inspiration Village in Roseville, JMC Homes. You get the best deals with high quality homes, a home with its peaceful, harmonious backyard, landscapes, and solar included. I love it. All right. Grant Bay and Folsom are both great cities. A lot of options to look at, compare, but Mark will give you a much better answer. I think the beautiful part, I love it, and everyone's kind of talking to each other in the comments, which I like as well too. I think the thing is that I do have opinions about the various areas, right? But I love getting other people's opinions about them as well too. I think that, that's kind of why we never kind of go into too much stuff about the schools and the areas and what's better, what's worse. I guarantee you I could find two people that live in Folsom that say Folsom's better than Grant Bay. And I bet you I could find two people in Grant Bay that say Grant Bay is better than Folsom. It's just all subjective. It's all about what you want. And that brings me back full circle to my point. If you're looking to move into Sacramento, like take your time, figure it out. If you're going to be looking between Grant Bay and Folsom, check out the shopping, check out the food areas, check out the people that live there. Do the same for Folsom and kind of get that education, that diligent part of you figuring out exactly where you want to live. For me, that would be my biggest advice to anyone. I mean, even though I could give you like advice on like which one I like, which one is this, which one is that, everything is so subjective. You just got to go out there and kind of feel it out. You also got to work with a realtor that when you are kind of checking out Grant Bay, they can hit you with any questions you might have about it. And that's kind of one of the things we like to do as well too. Like we'll give you a little bit of a price point as far as communities, all that stuff too. But if you go and say, hey, Grant Bay, what do you think as far as, PG&E versus SPUD? That we got you. So I think that if you are looking both at Grant Bay and Folsom, I think that that's at least a day's trip to kind of see both and kind of figure out which one works for you. A lot of the clients we work with are looking at Folsom or looking at Grant Bay, and a lot of them, sometimes they pivot to Loomis. And they're like, oh, Loomis, what's this all about? So there's so many fun spots in Sacramento. And I would say, go there, explore, see what your money gets you in all these different spots, see the different home styles, check out how much electricity and utilities are, solar, home insurance. And then based on all that stuff too, figure out exactly what works for your budget, what works for your lifestyle. All great spots though, definitely subjective. All right. You said Dixon's a little overpriced. Would you say the same about Vacaville? Vacaville, I think Vacaville's, the price point isn't that overpriced in Vacaville. There's some nice communities in Vacaville as well too, especially like I had one client who actually was looking at Vacaville, so we went down there to look at it. I'd say Vacaville is getting better. I think Vacaville right now with a new community out there in Dixon by Beezer, I think the pricing is decent as well too. A little higher than I would have expected. But again, for me, and you're just talking to like, a Sacramento loyalist. I think our area, as far as things to do, stuff that's going to happen here, like the Rail Yard Stadium, downtown Dova, Braden Project, the connector, the surf park. I'd want to be as close to all these things as humanly possible, but that's just me. Like I said, I treat Sacramento almost like a sports team. I love it. All right, let's get into some slides and we'll have a little fun. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the live broadcast. Like I said, if you are, smash that like button. It would mean a whole lot to me and the YouTube algorithm. All right. So here we got the comment on the thumbnail. Today, I'm just happy to have a roof over my head. I don't ask for much. Prices are high everywhere. Food, utilities, materials, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah. One of the things I would say to anyone who's looking to buy is just understand that, everyone's going to tell you, oh my God, buyers can get such a good deal. Just understand that, even if a deal is a deal, maybe it's not for you. Maybe it's not the right time for you. Evaluate your situation. Like I said, money in the bank, job security, and figure it out. There's no big rush. There's no big, there's no big like, oh my God, you have to buy or interest rates are going to go back up. There's just not that big piece of pressure. So just don't feel it, and work with a realtor, work with a lender who understands your sentiment. We work with right now, at least 50% of the people we're working with right now, like they're not in a huge rush. And I can honestly say this about anyone we're working with right now. We don't work that way either. We're like, no, 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 there's no rush. Like we'll keep looking, take a look at stuff. And when you find that house, you'll know. And if it's a time for you, you'll know. I mean, these things are somewhat kind of obvious. So don't work with people that are like kind of like trying to like get you to like jump in on a house or get you to sell your house for a lower price. I mean, we have a house right now that it's on the market in Antelope and we got a low offer for it. And, I talked to the owner and he's like, yeah, it's like, I don't want to sell it for lower than this. I'm like, then don't, we got you. Let's keep going. We factored in his carrying costs. We worked with net sheets as well too. So don't work with people who are kind of, strong arming you anything. I don't think this market has that pressure component to it. I don't think that, if you talk to a realtor and go, oh my God, buyers, buyers can get great deals out there. I think you can, but I think you could like 6 months ago. I think you could like a year ago, and the deals are always going to be there. I just think focus on yourselves, time your life, don't time the market, and just focus in on exactly. Don't be, like I said, I'll say this again, don't go to Costco on an empty stomach. It's just not going to end well. Be smart about your purchase. Be smart about like all that stuff. And I realize that right now, we are coming into the season where people are going to want to spend money on vacations, on food, on parties, on getaways, all that stuff too. So just be cognizant of that. Okay, on to the next. Now, this is the funniest thing, and I just want to bring this up before we get into some comments. I love, love, love statistics about this stuff. Like inventory right now, inventory levels were kind of flatlining, which is good. Okay. I'll tell you why flatlining is somewhat decent in this market, because what we're seeing is a lot of people pulling off their listings because they're going to relist in spring. People don't really like listing homes during this time of the year. If they have their choice, they'll be able to list in spring. So people are actually taking their houses off the market and we're still flatlining, which is still good. So there is inventory on the market. Recycled inventory, sometimes it's not really that inventory you want to see, or it's inventory you've seen before and you're like, that looks familiar. Yes, that's the inventory you're seeing on the market. All right. Mark, you look like singer Michael McDonald on your thumbnail. I know. I was blaring the light at me too. I know. If I could only sing that way, then I'd be singing on YouTube to you guys. Thank you. I think, right? Okay. To the next. All right, so average days on the market. Now this is going to increase. This is kind of where we are. Time of the year, inventory levels, buyer demand is just slower during this time of the year. It just is what it is. The few diligent people that are ready to go and do their thing, you might be able to score deals, but it's like I said, what was it? Maybe 3 months ago, I was predicting that, it'd be a cold winter, and I think it's going to be a cold winter, a cold fall. Seasonally, that's kind of like what we always see, and the interest rates didn't really help out too much. I think if anything, there could be a bright light in the new home market, but the deals I've been seeing the new homes are giving already don't make me think also that the buyers are completely like sold on new homes as well too. I think a lot of the buyers are saying to themselves, I'm seeing some reductions. I'm seeing some good deals at the new home companies. They can do better and they will do better, and we're going to wait till that happens. So I'm seeing that kind of sentiment right now for buyers. Do I blame you? I don't know. I mean, could you be right? Could you be wrong? I'm not really sure. I think it's all depending on interest rates, and it's just all depending on if there is that magic number and we go low enough interest rate wise where people decide to buy again. Because one of the things that you notice is like, and I talked to a bunch of lenders about this, is that prior to Jerome Powell making the announcement, we saw the bond market react and, interest rates dropped. Interest rates are down. I had some lenders saying, oh, we're getting some people into like fives. And during that period, we saw a lot of movement. We saw a lot of people jumping in the contract, buying houses. Then when it went back up, everyone was quiet. So there is that number, and there is that idea that people are so price conscious and so rate conscious that we could get to a rate that all of a sudden everything flips. It would be a little weird to see it during the end of the year because normally people are kind of sold on going to Tahoe snowboarding, but you never know. All right. Now, this is where it gets really interesting. I always love this stuff, like Redfin and Zillow, which pretty much have the same kind of data. You got Redfin who's saying this. Median home price, Sacramento area. This is what they're saying, which is, like I said, I don't know about that. And then how is Sacramento's housing market? Very competitive. I think when they put stuff out there, I think it confuses people. They're like, very competitive. I'd say for some communities, some neighborhoods, yes, it's very competitive. I think for other areas, we're also seeing, and you're seeing it out there. There's houses that have been on the market for 60 days and 90 days. So it's all relative to where you're looking. And then we got Zillow, who says, oh, no. This is where we're at right now. So this is where everything gets confusing. And these are things I pulled up just today. Now they're saying that year over year, we're down over 3% as far as price point. So this is where all gets confusing. As far as this, the takeaways are this: Sacramento key takeaways from Zillow. And when I say Zillow, please take it with a grain of salt. This is what we're looking at right now. And I was talking to Nikki on my team as well too, and she was like, this doesn't make any sense. I mean, we had a couple of appraisers and they're like, no, it seems like we're up. So this is where it gets all confusing. Now, I would say this: if you're looking to buy a home, if you're looking to sell a home, treating the housing market like the stock market when you're looking at Zillow for information or Redfin for information is just completely, it's just being confusing for you. If it was me and I was looking to buy a home, I would figure out my floor plan, community, areas that we're looking at. I would see the movement of some houses that I would be interested in buying, what the days on the market for those houses specifically look like, finishes, upgrades, lot sizes, all that stuff. I'd see like what's aggressive pricing, what things have been sitting on the market, seller pain points and everything too. There's a whole strategy to figuring out exactly what you want, but that's what I'd be looking at. I wouldn't be looking at this stuff because this stuff just confuses the entire marketplace. I mean, look at this. Just nuts. Okay. So this is from our MLS as well too. Now, directly from the MLS, this is kind of what we're looking at. This is, as of last month. Okay. For sale, lower listings, sold about the same, pending, going up just a little bit too. And that, if you notice, was just prior to Jerome Powell making the announcement as well too. We had a little bit of a push in the pendings. Now what you're looking at, and this is basically now data. As far as for sales are down, sold, and this is against last month. For sales are down, solds are down, and pendings are down. So this is, at least for me, kind of real-time data. And this is for the Sacramento County, Placer County, Yolo County, and El Dorado County. So this is kind of what we're looking at. It's going to be a little bit of a cold winter unless Jerome Powell comes out, makes an amazing announcement. And I know everyone's going to say, the Fed rate is different than mortgage interest rates. You are completely correct. So when Jerome Powell is going to make an announcement, go and check out the 10-year Treasury and see how that's reacting, because I'll give you a little bit of an idea of where interest rates are going to go. Okay. Boom. Here's where we are right now. We saw a little bit of a dip. Boom. But not like the big dip that we saw just prior to right here before Jerome Powell made his announcement. So it's going to be interesting where rates go. Right now, we saw it like it's hovering like 6.25, 6.35. And this, like I said, this isn't about this rate you can get today. I mean, depending on your credit program, I mean, this is all, it's more just about looking at where exactly the trajectory is going. And what we've seen over the last couple of days, it's dipped a little bit. Not much, but it has. Okay, so let's get into some Q&A. Plymouth Lake, California, Plymouth Lake Golf Course. Oh man, I did this video, honestly, like I think 5 years ago. What about flooding? I would say this. I don't know enough about the Plymouth Lake area at this point. I would say though, it's very rural out there. The roads aren't like, there's a lot of spots where it looks like there would be flooding. I can't guarantee it yes or no, but at the same time for me, it's very much like country-ish out there too. Okay, next. Sacramento Republic. I had a Pulte home in, oh, here we go. Ginger, this is you. I had a Pulte home in Seattle, Washington area. We love the layout of the house, but the fit and finishes were never owning a Pulte home again. Okay. And like I said, Pulte for me, I think I saw their houses in Roseville. I like their houses in Roseville, although they were kind of by the power towers, which I wasn't a big fan of. I like the Pulte houses in Rancho as well too. But yeah, no, I think for everyone, you just got to go in there and kind of see, price point versus based on quality versus bedroom count also for Pulte. Okay, next. Sacramento's hottest deals. And like I said again, guys, this is all relative. Like, is it a deal? I'm sure it's a deal for someone who's looking for a single story Toll Brothers home, and this is the floor plan for them, and it dropped the price. At the same time, this is one of those things where a lot of people might be looking at this going, I mean, is this a deal? I mean, not for me, it's not a deal. And I get it. It's still a high priced home. And in this market, could it go lower? Possibly as well too. So when I throw these videos out to you, look at them. If they're a deal for you, fantastic. If they're not, it doesn't mean you have to rush out and buy it as well too. But for me, what I found very interesting is that builders like Toll Brothers, builders like Shawwood, builders like Taylor are now putting out the thing where they're like negotiating price, which I've not seen for a long, long time. All right, get some Q&A. Boom. Where I'm looking in the Sacramento area, yet some listings are almost 3 months old. Others are featured on a Tuesday pending on next Monday. I'm trying to avoid the early spring competition. Here's what I would say. Start narrowing down the areas you like, right? If you like Orangevale, Citrus Heights, start narrowing it down and start looking at floor plans. What you're going to notice about Sacramento is that a majority of the houses, even if they're older, built in the 70s or 80s, they're like tract homes, right? Tract homes. So if you gauge based on square footage, you're going to see how fast that floor plan went, right? Finishes, community, and area. There's some areas that are super hot still, even right now. There's some areas that a house will be thrown on the market and it just won't move. So for you, just figure out also price per square foot, right? There's always a price per square foot in areas. Like it might be a low of 200, a high of 250. Then when you see a house come out, if it's a floor plan that does tend to move, look at the finishes, see where the pricing's at, and it'll give you a little bit of an idea of how fast that thing will move. The other thing is going to the open house and also figuring out what the seller's pain points look like. So those are things that you should definitely jump on as far as knowing. But the first thing, bar none, know the communities, know the streets, know the floor plans that you're really, really interested in. Knowledge is total power on this in this market. If you know exactly what you're looking for, you're one step definitely ahead of the next buyer. All right. Boom, boom, boom. All right, talking about jobs and economy, choosing career paths is crucial. I highly recommend to be registered, live and work, live and work as a registered nurse here in Sacramento region or SF Bay. Yeah. I mean that, honestly, so many people I've been talking to as far as that goes too. I think nurse, doctors, with all the medical that we have in the Sacramento area, West Roseville is going to have a new Kaiser campus as well too. So, there's so much medical here. I just was on a phone call with someone who's looking to move, and the first thing they're like, hey, yeah, we're going to be moving. What can I do for jobs? I'd say also go to the state of California government jobs. There's a website for that where you can look for jobs there. I would say that, there's a lot of stuff out here. People do Uber driving, people start landscaping companies. A lot of contractors come in from the Bay Area as well too. There's a lot of different job possibilities in the Sacramento area. And that doesn't mean they're just giving away jobs left and right, but I will say that there is definitely a path to make it here in the Sacramento area. In fact, a lot of people I run into have jobs in the Bay Area. They're doing maybe the 1 or 2 day commute. I bump into a couple years later and they're like, no, we stopped doing that. We got a job here. We're good to go. So I would say state jobs are big ones here. I would say entrepreneurial stuff like landscaping companies, contracting companies, cleaning companies, those are huge as well too. Medical is another mega one here too. Also, just understand too, we have all this building, all this construction. So construction is a big one as well. Also infrastructure jobs, education jobs are big as well in the Sacramento area. So there's a lot of different avenues. And I think tech too, what do we have? We have Oracle, we got Micron. So there's a little bit of everything, and, or become a realtor, reach out to me. So there's a lot of stuff going on here in the Sacramento area. All right, getting some more Q&A. Boom. Which areas of Sacramento feel most underrated? I moved from Carmichael to West Sacramento about 9 years ago. A lot of brand new homes. It was the best move I've ever made. Okay, here's the thing. I think West Sacramento, one is Delta Breezes, close to downtown Sacramento as well too. I think West Sacramento is amazing. I wish more builders would build in West Sacramento. Now, one thing to note about West Sacramento is that it is in Yolo County. So just keep that in mind. But West Sacramento, if you want that Delta breeze, definitely a different vibe out there too. Really, really like West Sacramento. I think sometimes it does get overlooked. And sometimes when people are searching, on Zillow or wherever, and they go Sacramento County, Placer County, they overlook the idea that West Sacramento is in Yolo County. So if you are searching and you haven't checked out West Sacramento, just remember it's in Yolo County and have that included in the search of lists that you get for homes. All right, next. Sacramento's hottest deal. Is this a Toll Brothers home? Yes, it is. It's one of the last Toll Brothers homes being sold at Hidden Ridge in El Dorado Hills. Reduced, laugh out loud. I know, it's still high priced. 100%. But I will tell you this. Comparatively towards what it was priced, that's a crazy reduction. Now, it could be one of those things where, I mean, they might reduce it even further because I don't know if they're getting a lot of action in on it. But if you're someone who likes Toll Brothers, if you want a single story home, this is going to be one of the last brand new homes that they're selling up at Hidden Ridge. And I don't know what's going on with Hidden Ridge, to be honest. It's one of those communities I really, really love. I love Hidden Ridge. I love the amount of houses. I love the location. But what I'm running into too, there's another house too in Hidden Ridge. It's a resale home. And it's like it's a Denali. It's a great floor plan. They're just about ready to reduce it to 1.27. And I haven't seen a Denali in that Toll Brothers community go under 1.5. So I don't know what's going on. All right. Future of Northern California. Love the natural elements, especially the quartzite. That's Nikki. And we did that video on that East Sacramento brand new custom home, which is already in contract. Thanks to the video we did. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that video. And this Friday, we have another video for a $3.85 million home in Lincoln. It's going to be, it's unreal. All right. Which Sacramento suburb feels the most like you? Fair Oaks, Carmichael. Older home community has been great along the river, laid back feel. You know, if you guys are looking for that, if you're looking for like those areas where like it's just laid back, relaxed, I'd say Carmichael's a nice one. Fair Oaks is a nice one. Orangevale. There's some areas of citrus as well too. I mean, you can really find it all here in Sacramento. All right, guys, if you're enjoying the broadcast, also smash that like button. It would mean a whole lot to me and the YouTube algorithm. Now, new one too, if you guys can and you're on your phone or whatnot, you're going to see right next to the like button, there's a hype button. Hit me that hype button too. I'm just curious what it does. I don't really know. Okay. Sacramento's massive project, the 50. I live in El Dorado County, and whenever I make a trip to Sac Airport, I will do anything in my power not to drive on the 50. My advice to anyone else, take I-80. Exit on Antelope and follow the road. It will take you all the way to the airport. Your life will be much safer that way. I gotta agree with that. The 50 is just brutal. I mean, I cannot wait for it to be done, but yeah, I get a lot of people complain about the 50, but that was a pretty funny comment. All right. I played with the idea of putting the primary bedroom and attached bathroom on travel nurse registry with pets allowed. Not forever, just a couple years. Sacramento's too many hospitals. That's so many hospitals. Yeah, there is actually, you know, we've worked with a lot of people that have done that. We've also worked with a lot of people that bought houses in the Rosemont College Glen area and house hacked to students at Sacramento State. There's creative ways you can definitely do it in the Sacramento area. In fact, the gentleman I was talking to earlier today was like, I want to get in there. I want to get a 2-and-2, and I want to start the house hacking thing. So house hacking is definitely alive and well here in the Sacramento area. And I tell you something, half the time I run into people who want to do house hacking. They're like, you know, in their early 20s and everything too. And I think to myself, why wasn't I thinking in that way back in the day? Or if I were moving to Sacramento, what is the most important to you? I love the walkability. I would say Sacramento, there's something for everyone, whether it's the walkability that you love, whether it's like the food scene, whether it's golfing and all that stuff. Sacramento is really a kind of like a treasure trove of various things to do for you, your family. Great area. Couldn't recommend it more. All right. If you could pick an ideal Sacramento home style, what would it be? All four. I have a hunger for the lifestyle of kings. I love that. Victorian or Tudor. All right. What kind of floor plans do you guys like? You know, it's so funny. I look at so many floor plans, like Mediterranean, contemporary, what's called Tuscan. I'm a little over farmhouse, I got to say, but I like farmhouse nonetheless. It's interesting. There's so many interesting floor plans, right, in the Sacramento area. And they're going to be changing too. I'm seeing a couple Cape Cods. So it's interesting. I think also, if you're looking for like the Victorian and the Tudor homes, you're looking more like East Sacramento, the Land Park area as well too. Some even in the pocket. So it's fun. All right. New luxury homes in Roseville. This is AI. If it were real, the traffic would be horrendous. I'm not understanding that comment, but I needed to put it up here anyways. If you guys can help me decipher that comment, I would appreciate it. All right, Sacramento's mega project that will change Northern California forever. Avoid casinos at all costs. You know, I'm not a big casino guy. I'm just not. I've never been one, right? But I will tell you one thing. A lot of the people that we move into the Sacramento area love Sky River, love the casinos, love it to go see concerts, to eat food and everything too. I've never been myself. I mean, I've been to the steakhouse at Thunder Valley, but you know, I've never really been in the casinos too much. But you know, a lot of people love them. And like I said, I'm not a big casino guy, but I love the fact that we have other things for other people to do in the Sacramento area, which makes it yet another amazing thing for you guys. All right, Brad, mid-century. All right, my friend, String Brothers. I mean, there are some nice mid-century modern homes. The thing about mid-century is mid-century modern right now is so hot in the Sacramento area. Also, like if you look at Citrus Heights, there's some mid-century moderns that you can get in like the 500s. Crazy pricing for those. I have always had a dream, and I don't know if you guys know developers, please let them reach out to me. I would love to hear about, or I'd love to pitch my idea. I would love to create in the Sacramento area a new home mid-century modern community. Maybe somewhere at Placer One, Placer Vineyards. I'd love it. I'd be like maybe like 35 mid-century modern homes, a clubhouse that was mid-century modern. I think that that would absolutely crush in the Sacramento area. So if you guys know developers, let me know, because I think that that would be amazing for us in Sacramento. All right. I'm old, so ranch for me. That's a funny thing too. A lot of people get confused between ranch and mid-century. I don't, because I grew up in a mid-century modern home. All right. California real estate, biggest secret for the California lifestyle. Great podcast, Mark. I appreciate it, guys. And I appreciate you guys tuning in. I appreciate you guys spending the evening with me. If you guys have any questions, let me know. And like I said, this is one of the funnest things that I do during the course of my week. Love spending time with you guys. All right, Sacramento's hottest deal. Greetings and blessings. I'm seeing more and more price reductions. Just another in escrow yesterday. Rockland, Yuba City, Roseville. Guys, there are a lot of price reductions happening in the Sacramento area. Keep your eyes peeled if you are looking for that, that dream home. Like I said, again, I'll reiterate, or I'll circle back to what I was saying. Figure out what you want, figure out what you like, figure out the communities, floor plan, square footage, and all that stuff too. You're going to be one step ahead of someone else who's looking to buy if you know exactly what you're looking for. All right. Insane Northern California state. This one is still going. Our insurance company is insuring there. Yeah, there actually are. I talked to Javier and he got me a quote. It's pretty high, honestly, but yeah, definitely insurable. California Fair Plan. All right. Which Sacramento suburb feels the most you? Davis. I got to do a video on Davis sooner than later. Yeah, Davis is a great spot. People absolutely love Davis. We sell in Davis. We work with buyers in Davis as well too. So I got to focus a little bit, maybe more on Davis in the future. All right. Have you heard of building MCM homes, mid-century modern, in recent years? Would they ever meet building codes today? I did this one podcast, I don't know, it was about maybe 4 months ago, with this really nice lady, Gabby, and we were talking mid-century modern, and she mentioned to me that there was a community, I think it was in Arizona, or I think it was like Nevada or something, and she said it was a brand new mid-century modern community they created. It was like Starlight or something like that, but there were a bunch of homes. So I think you could possibly do it. I think you'd need to kind of make it a little bit, you'd have to bring it up to code, but I think mid-century modern they're not that expensive to build. They just really are not that expensive to build. You don't even have to build them that big. But I do think the idea that if you could make that work, do you know how cool that would be? I mean, I think they would sell out like crazy. I think that if there was a mid-century modern community in the Sacramento area of maybe 35 homes, and now the clubhouse also, a little like mid-century modern clubhouse and everything too, I think that community, if priced right, I think that would be one of the hottest selling communities in the Sacramento area. But like you said, we got to go through the code thing. But if they got that thing passed and they were good to go, I think definitely it'd be a winner here in the area. All right. Boom. Reduced. Okay. Sacramento's hottest deal. Man, this video did really, really well. Reduced 230 from 8 million. Yeah. Like I said, guys, look, here's the thing. There is a price drop. It's a deal for someone who wants a Toll Brothers home and was thinking they'd probably have to pay like 1.4. But for majority of us, probably not the deal of the century. But it's crazy for me to see a $230,000 reduction. That should give you a little bit of a weather forecast for new homes. All right. I did this Sacramento versus Boulder. Boulder is more comparable to Berkeley or Mill Valley. It's an incredible, stunning place, but way too politically extreme, beyond expensive, and not enough diversity. Sac is more comparable to Denver. All right, I like that. Boom. All right, let me see what we got. What time are we looking at? All right, guys, give me a like if you can in the comments. I'd appreciate it. All right. Now for crime, I would say there's certain things that I would say you need to look at before moving into an area. even buying a house. I'd say crime, definitely. And there's a lot of websites you can do it. Gridschools.org for the schools. And I'd say also check out Megan's Law before buying any house. All right. Sacramento is real estate's biggest secret. Great information, like the music in the beginning. Hopefully you guys like the intro for this. As someone from Louisiana, lives in a ton of states, including Texas. This place is fantastic and easily the best of where we've lived. Salaries are typically much higher than similar places too. Thank you. Like I said, I think one of the things that we'll all agree on is that Sacramento is pretty amazing. All right. Boom, Brandon. All right. Sacramento beats Denver, not biased view. I'm with you 100%. I think, like I said, I love doing those polls too for you guys too, but I already know my answer. All right. Which future project are you most excited about? Sacramento Republic Stadium. Yeah. And like I said, I had a thumbnail of it and then someone said, oh, that's not the right thumbnail. So I made sure I reached out to get you guys the right thumbnail, but I'm excited about this project. If you guys don't know, Sacramento soccer is so huge here. I mean, soccer is just another thing. So I cannot wait to have the soccer stadium here. It's gonna be awesome. But like I said, also the other stuff like the Cordova indoor soccer, it's gonna be fun stuff. All right, what size lot matters most to you when buying? Small? I'd say right now, large, man. We want large, we want a pool, we want ADU. I would say majority, I'd say 9 out of 10 people that we work with, the bigger the yard, the better. All right, if you could pick your ideal Sacramento home style, what would it be? What do we got here? Ranch style with a big lot. There we go. Okay, ranch style wins. All right. Which Sacramento suburb feels the most like you? That's so subjective. I apologize for that. Folsom wins. But like I said, this is so subjective. All right. Which area of Sacramento feels most underrated? All right. West Sacramento. Ooh, okay. West Sacramento edges out Roseville. What do you guys think of that? All right. If you're moving to Sacramento area, what is most important to you? Larger lots. Now, we're going to end with that. That's one of the things about Sacramento that's great. We got a lot of people moving in from the Bay, a lot of people moving from LA, a lot of people moving from all over the spots. A lot of cities, a lot of areas, a lot of different states, people are moving into California. Like the nicest thing about Sacramento is the fact that if you have that little condo in the Bay Area and you sell it for $2 million, you could buy yourself an acre, a gorgeous house. The bang for your buck here in Sacramento, comparatively towards some other spots like in the Bay Area and Los Angeles, is fantastic. And a lot of people are realizing that you can move into Sacramento. There's some places that are even agriculturally zoned, so you can have chickens. You can even have a horse, and there's some areas in Orangeville where people do. It is a fun place to live, and it's definitely a place that you need to explore. If you're thinking about, I want to live in Sacramento, or I want to live in California, I want something that, if I'm going to pay off a mortgage or if I'm going to pay my mortgage, I want it to be something that I really, really love, guys. I discovered in Sacramento, and you can too. Thank you guys again for tuning in to the broadcast. Smash that like button. Until the next video, I'm going to drop one on Friday. See you guys. Have a good one. And thanks again for tuning in. Okay, guys, hopefully you enjoyed the show. If you did, please smash that like button. Also, there's a hype button down there as well, too. Please hit that. It would mean a whole lot to me and the YouTube algorithm. Now, if you have any comments or questions about this show particularly, this is a show we do every single Wednesday at 7 p.m. just for you. Please put them in the comments below. I'll make sure to answer them. And also, what do you guys think? Do you think rates are going to get worse? Do you think they're going to get better? Do you think home prices are going to go down? I want to know what you think in the comments below. Now, guys, we are a real estate team in the area. So if you are thinking about making the move to Sacramento, or you're thinking about moving around Sacramento and you have some questions, we'd love to talk to you. There's a Zoom link below. Click on that Zoom link so we can talk to you a little bit about the Sacramento area, get all those questions answered that you might have. Now, guys, if you are thinking about selling your home and you're either in the Sacramento area, Tahoe, or in the Bay Area, we've been having great success with YouTube and we'd love to work with you to sell your home. So reach out to our team. We'll show you our marketing statistics. Guys, nobody markets a home like we do, and we'll show you how we do it and how we get things not just listed, but actually sold. Now, one last thing before I go, there's a playlist right over there of other videos I've done in the area. So hit that button, hit those videos, guys. Those videos right there are going to give you all the information about the Sacramento area that you need to get started. And of course, we're always available for a phone call or a Zoom call just for you. Okay, guys, until next video, this is Mark. Have a good one.